Right now, there is a coup going on in New York. It's a major fight between Mayor Eric Adams, his his people in his political circle, the governor of New York, and many others. I mean, there are situations that are going on, and this happens to be because we are in a new administration as far as in Washington, and basically it's cleanup time. It's cleanup from the last 4 years of the mess that has happened, especially on the streets of New York. And it continues to be a problem on the streets of New York. Now, recently, some people have been asking, what's going on in Queens? What's going on Roosevelt Avenue? Right now, we've looked at certain video that's been put out. It seems like it's tamed down as far as the prostitution, the illegal selling of product and food on the streets, but it still does exist. So it hasn't gone away. Some of it has moved to the Bronx. So we're going to continue to monitor that and what's going on as we get more footage from those areas. But the other half is, we have the gangs in New York, and this is what we're going to focus on. Because I know a lot of people say, well, you should be focused on the coup on that. Right now, we need to talk about the other things, the things that are important, that are out there, as far as, the fight with politics that's going on here. The soul of New York is at hand. But this is very important also because we have gangs like Tren de Aragua and many MS-13 and many others on the streets of New York. And basically, they've been roaming free to the situation. Now, understand, with the new DOJ and the new Homeland Security and all that through Trump, we're finally getting to get boots on the ground when it comes to the situation, especially in New York. We've already had several arrests in New York. We continue to have that. Meanwhile, NYPD has their hands full, similar to what happened last week in Brooklyn, where basically a pro-Palestine protester ran their car into people of Jewish faith in Brooklyn, and that's still an ongoing situation. There was arrest made, but these are the things that are happening. Cops are cracking down on these activists that are running the gambit as far as the violence that we've seen in years past. And now we're getting to the point where we've got a new sheriff in town, and basically they're not going to take any shit to the situation. But we still having the problem in our courts, in our district attorneys. It's not the NYPD's fault. They're doing the job that they've been given, but their hands are tied to this situation. Like this particular story out of New York. This happened last week. Reputed Tren de Aragua gangsters nabbed in NYCD felony drug raid, only to be cut loose with a slap on the wrist. Yeah, folks, this actually happened. This is a situation that has been going on and for quite some time. And I'm surprised that this happened in Queens to the point that they were cut loose. Because normally the district attorneys out there have been a bit tough to the situation. I mean, you're already seeing what's going on in Long Island right now, in Suffolk County. Suffolk County ain't taking any shit anymore. They're basically cracking down and working with ICE. And that's the way it's supposed to be. A pair of reputed migrant gangbangers were nabbed in a drug raid at a Queens auto shop, only to be cut loose without bail after prosecutors reduced the charges, the Post has learned. Jose Tamariz Caldera, 27, and Richard Garcia, 33, both tied to the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, were busted on a felony drug and gun charges in a February 5th raid at VNR Auto and Collision in Woodside, along with a 54-year-old shop owner Rafael Nieves, according to the sources and court records. But once the case got to court, Queens prosecutors reduced the charges, hitting the migrants with a misdemeanor count of a air gun, which will let them walk without bail. Nieves, who faced the most serious charges, had his drug and gun possessions charges knocked down as well, with the new counts not eligible for bail under the state's controversial criminal justice reforms. This is one of the major problems. It's these bail situations. We need bail to be put back the way it used to be. These are not misguided individuals law enforcement told the New York Post. They're documented members of a known violent criminal enterprise, a gang who have planted their flag here by entrenching themselves in narcotics, gun, and human trafficking. And the best we can do is let them out. If we did our jobs with criminals, we wouldn't have ICE scouring our streets for detainees. Tamaris, Caldera, and Garcia crossed the U.S. border illegally in 2023, but was released into the country under former President Joe Biden's lax border policy, federal immigration sources said. Tamaris Caldera, who entered the U.S. with his wife and 2 children, told immigration officials he would be living in Durham, North Carolina, and Garcia was supposed to be staying in Savannah, Georgia. All a lie. Were they his kids? That's the other thing, you know. Immigration sources said a deportation detainer has been placed on Garcia. According to law enforcement sources, the 2 migrants were living at the tax-funded Big Apple shelters at converted hotels, the Roosevelt in Manhattan and Crown Plaza in Queens. Were they with their families? That's a good question. Following the February 5th raid on the auto shop, all 3 were charged with gun and drug possession after the cops found a Glock handgun and a large quantity of controlled substances, the NYPD said. The sources said the evidence seized in the raid include a large stash of cocaine, a .40 caliber Glock Gen 22, and more than $3,100 in cash, and all of the suspects were charged with second-degree criminal possession of a weapon and a fifth-degree criminal possession of a controlled substances. Under the state bail reforms, a judge can opt to set bail on the gun charge based on several factors, including criminal history and chance of rearrest. But it never came to that. Oh, come on! According to the criminal complaint filed by the Queens DA's office the next day, the 2 migrants were only charged with possession of an imitation handgun and air gun recovered at the garage. Nieves' charge were knocked down to the 4th-degree weapons possession and the 7th-degree drug possession and was freed on a conditional release but no bail records show. In an email Tuesday, a spokesperson for the Queens District Attorney's Office noted that the charges lodged in the complaint are not eligible for bail under the state criminal justice forms. But they were illegal here in the country. They should have been held on that. They committed a crime. And they're not from the United States. They should have been held on that. Why were they released? That's a good question for to that nature. Finalizing this article, the DA's office reviews all the evidence and charges warranted, the spokesman said. In this case, the weapons charged against defendant Nieves is for an unloaded firearm. Wasn't an air gun, was an unloaded firearm. But the police didn't know that. Our office asked for supervised release, and the judge granted supervised release, they said. The charges against the other 2 defendants, Garcia and Caldera, are for possession of an air CO2 pistol and not eligible for bail. They were treating it as a gun. They used it as a gun to threaten probably people. But they said, well, they only had an air gun, they shouldn't have it. But if they're using it in a crime, that's a situation. How is a police officer or anyone in nature is going to know that if they pull that gun out, that it is an air gun? No one's going to know that. This is the reason why when people say criticize that they don't have a gun, they had an air gun, they got shot for nothing. No, cops are not going to know that. If you're sitting there and someone's pointing a gun at you, you can't tell the difference. And no, they don't have a color coding on it. Yes, there are ones that are sold. There are people who basically change the color of the gun, or they get one and remove that part of the device. This is the situation that's been going on. This is the reason why we're at this point where there's practically a coup in New York City. ICE needs to be back in here. We need to get these people off the street. And you say, well, he had a family situation. Was it his family again? Did anybody check? Did they do a blood check? See, the thing about it is, saying that this woman and these children are mine doesn't fly. Because, again, there are over 300,000 children in the United States that are illegal, that are here, and we don't know where they are. Because according to the Biden administration, they're out there. We gave them a presentation, and we send them on their way. And where are they? Basically, they're in the charge of human traffickers. Yes, that's correct. See, that's the thing. And a lot of them are here against their will. See, and that's the other thing that people don't talk about, is that these people were brought into this country against their will. You know, you hear that, oh, who's going to pick your stuff and, you know, pick your fruits and vegetables and all that. Really, you want slavery back into the United States? Because these people are paid next to nothing. And if they are making some sort of money, it's going to the human traffickers. They're left with next to nothing. And then there are those who basically are of the major criminal element that have taken out from your Social Security, from SNAP funds, and other federal programs, including staying in a hotel that is billions funded by your tax-paying dollar. You saw that they, you know, because of Doge, they yanked back between 50 to 80 million from just recently. And you say, well, they need somewhere to stay. Well, excuse me. There are tons of people homeless out there. Just recently, within about a week or two, they found a homeless man dead on the streets of New York. People just walked right on by. The guy probably, I haven't gotten an autopsy, but most likely probably, because the weather has been really bad, probably froze to death. Just laying out there in the streets. Nobody cared for that situation. And there are hundreds and probably maybe thousands of people since COVID that are out there in the streets that have nowhere to go because of this situation. But I'll tell you another situation. I need you to comment. Let me know your thoughts about this. You know, this is very important to the situation. You know, we have a lot that is going on in this country right now to try to fix what has been basically damaged heavily, especially in the last 4 years. People may be upset about Donald Trump. You know, hey, listen, nobody's perfect to the situation, but look at what has been done, what has been, you know, that they're fixing to that nature, the things that they're finding out. Your money has been stolen out of your own pocket, your tax dollars, your Social Security, your social services. All of that has been stolen and put into someone's pocket. Think about that for a minute. And be sure to comment, share this video, and hey, listen, hit that subscribe button. Because we need to get these criminals out of here. We need the danger to be, you know, taken care of in this country. So subscribe. It moves us out in the algorithm, because small channels like mine, I mean, I've been around over 7 years and I still can't push that threshold for the reason, and there are others like me that are out there, is that we've been kept down and they're trying to purge us out of the system. So subscribe, and if you haven't yet, do check us out over on Rumble and subscribe there as well. We need some love over there as well. We do appreciate that. Thank you for those who have already done this. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and see ya.